up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we'll be reviewing The Visit. This film came out in 2015, was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and stars Ed Oxenbould and Olivia DeJonge. Now before we start with this, I'd like to subscribe to post notification bells so you know for free video. Let's just start. Let's start talking about the good. So all the actors and actors in this film are great, especially Ed Oxenbould as Tyler, Olivia DeJonge as Becca, Dana Dugan as Nana, Peter McRobbie as Pop-Pop, and Catherine Hahn as Loretta, or the mother. All those characters in this film and the actors and actresses who portray them, fantastic in the film. The opening sequence I thought was good. Was Loretta, or the mother, talking about the kids staying with the grandparents, and it somewhat resembles Modern Family in the way it was shot. So I think it works very, very well. The first act of the film I thought was very, very well done. Set up the characters well. I actually cared about the kids. They had a good relationship in the film, and they felt like normal, everyday kids. And the mother, Catherine Hahn, fantastic. And the overall first act, where you kind of get the sense of where they're going, who their grandparents are, very, very well done. The cinematography, which of course was shots, the cameras, the lighting, it was great. M. Night Shyamalan always does a great job with his films in terms of cinematography, and this film is no different. The found footage aspect of this film is very, very well done, and I really, really loved it. It's basically the entire film is like Paranormal Activity, but better in terms of cinematography, because most of the film takes place obviously in the grandparents' house, but it's shot in a way that it's like the kid is filming his everyday experience with his grandparents, which I think is very, very unique, and it fits this film perfectly. The second act of the film I thought was very entertaining. It progresses the story well. I thought the grandparents have a lot to do in that second act of the film, and things start getting revealed and leading up to the third act, which I'll get to later. But the second act of the film overall was very, very entertaining. The brother and sister, they have a good relationship with each other. Olivia DeJonge and Tyler, or Ed Oxenbould, very, very good in the film, and the relationship, like I said earlier, is very, very well done, and they seem like everyday kids. There are also many creepy, terrifying, and disturbing sequences, and all of them include the crazy grandparents, and it's somewhat terrifying when you get to that end of second act and the beginning of third act, because the grandparents are terrifying. The grandmother, or Nana, she is very, very creepy in this film. Pop-Pop is just as creepy, but we don't see as much of him as we do as Nana. But both of them are equally just as creepy. There are some disgusting sequences in this film, especially the Yahtzee sequence with the grandmother, and she has food in her mouth and she's screaming Yahtzee. It's disturbing and very, very disgusting, and it works perfectly for M. Night Shyamalan. And there's also another sequence, it's a diaper sequence with Pop-Pop. He puts his diaper on Tyler's face, and it is disgusting. It is one of the most disgusting sequences of an M. Night Shyamalan film that I've seen. And like I said, it still works for this film because it's very disturbing. This overall film is just a very, very disturbing film. There are also many tense sequences, especially the oven sequence, which is where Nana puts Becca in the oven. She closes it, but she opens it again. But that sequence, that entire sequence with the oven, she doesn't open it until about 30 seconds to a minute later. So she's basically in the oven the whole entire time, and then Nana opened the door, trying to make her think it was just a joke, but obviously it wasn't, because she kept her in there for basically a minute, and it was just very, very creepy. Another sequence was under the house. There is a sequence where Nana chases the kids under the house. She is crawling under the house, and it is terrifying. Like I said, the grandparents, the actors and actresses who portray the grandparents are fantastic in this film, because Nana herself, her character alone in this film is terrifying. There are also many great jump scares. M. Night Shyamalan does a great job with his jump scares, and the way he crafts them is very, very unique to him. And this film goes back to his jump scare and horror roots. And this film, the jump scares got me every single time. There are also many hilarious sequences in this film. Ed Oxenbould is very, very funny in this film because he's just an everyday kid, and I think it works for this film. There's also a good twist reveal where the grandparents are fake. So the grandparents in the film are not their real grandparents. They actually killed their other grandparents, and it's shown in the scene where the grandparents are shown hanging from a tree, but off in the distance, so you don't really see it that clearly. and then Pop-Up shuts the door quickly to make it look like that she didn't see anything, and then that sequence leads into the Yahtzee sequence, which I think that overall sequence where it shows the grandparents, very, very, very well done. The third act of the film. Now, the third act of the film is weird, crazy, and awesome. It's basically the grandparents trying to get their kids, and it's awesome. It's a very, very good third act in an M. Night Shyamalan film, and exactly what you expect from a film made by him. And the end credit sequence. Now, the end credit sequence is hilarious. It is a rap sequence with Ed Oxenbold's character, and it's very, very funny. And I think it works for that ending of a film like this. That's all the good that I have. Now let's move on to the bad. So the only bad thing I have to say about this film is that there are a few pacing issues. Some sequences are a bit too slow, and that was mainly in the second act of the film. But other than that, I had a very, very good time with this film. The Visit is a very creepy horror film. It's sort of like a rainy day horror film, and for me, it is perfect like that. So I highly recommend it, and I'm going to give The Visit a B+. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like button, subscribe to the post notification bell so you know if every video. I'm Peter. Thank you for watching.